Welcome to the third and final on-demand webinar in our series focused on how professional services firms can modernize their business. Hello, I'm Mark Seculo with the marketing group at Velosio. Velosio is a leading partner of Microsoft, specializing in cloud technology and business applications to improve your operations. This session will focus on how organizations can maximize resources and performance, leveraging the right processes and technology. With that in mind, we brought together two of our experts at Velosio to discuss this area in some detail. We have with us Lance Knepper. Lance serves as the VP of Digital Platform Strategy. He's a leader in our Modern Platform Services group with a focus on data management, solution architecture, process automation, business insights and analytics, as well as emerging technologies with over 30 years of experience. Hello, Lance.
Hey, Mark.
We also have with us Rob Urbanowitz, VP of Enterprise Services. Rob leads our professional services clients from strategy to execution in the area of CRM and ERP, as well as other areas of their business. He works across all types of professional services organizations, from accounting, tax, consulting firms, marketing services, and many others. Rob also has over 30 years of experience in business application domain. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having us today. And yeah, I've been around this industry for a long time, like you mentioned. And, one thing I find that's really intriguing is the services sector is the largest and fastest growing component of our U.S. economy. And the uniqueness that I find in ProServ firms is that, we all have skilled resources that are assigned to projects, and they need to be billed at profitable rates. Many of the ProServ firms today are partner owners, and those were individuals who grew up in the business, serving clients, evolved to equity or profitability-based comp models. And some firms have repeatable business, like annual audits in an accounting firm or system upgrades in an IT firm. But, other uniquenesses that you see as well is that a design firm and a marketing firm, they have retainers and contractors. So those agencies need to be able to manage those resources. But what we all have in common is that the same challenges that we face, it's utilization levels, backlog, capacity planning, scheduling and forecasting, and then you've got the slow paying clients that we're always trying to nudge. But the bottom line is that, it's all about leveraging skilled people to deploy to clients and maximize your capacity and ultimately your profitability. And, this is really all about resources. And other than subject matter expertise, some resources do outperform others. And we got Lance here today. Lance, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're seeing in resource outperformance?
Yeah, it's certainly there's several factors, and like you said, Rob, it is the focus on the resources and the people, right? And I think there certainly are a mix of how they operate, and then essentially how they would engage with, in this case, the clients and what you're trying to drive. So a couple of things that jump out, and then around personality, and certainly being a good communicator, and essentially having tools that allow them to leverage their communications. Certainly not to. There's so many ways now that we can communicate. We have our phones, we have text, we have emails. How do we help them really enhance their communications with your clients? I think individuals that really own and want to tackle big pieces of work in the more challenging projects, and they go, they really attack these things with that big challenge mentality, and really not worrying about sinking, but really focusing on how they swim most effectively and trying to solve problems. I think, always hunting and looking for additional opportunities. So how do you provide tools to them that essentially allows them to document and manage, where those opportunities are with your clients? And lastly, I would say change management is critical, right? So we, as a services firm, ultimately you're managing your clients' change every day. So they also have to be willing to change and be able to manage that change, leveraging whether it be technology or your process procedures internally that really help them be efficient and drive that performance.
Lance, when you think about it, an individual resource, and I've talked to clients about this as well.
Yeah.
When you talk about who are your best resources, I always hear two things. One, they're the ones that have the most tenure.
Yeah.
They've been around our firm for a long time. They know how we operate. They know our clients. Clients love to work with them, and they keep themselves busy because they just know that everything that we do and how to click in our organization. But the second area, though, is the right tools. And it's those individuals that are either new to the organization or maybe not the highest achievers. And the more that you can help them to manage their day-to-day, manage their schedule, get them engaged in clients, make sure that they don't have administrative functions and tasks that they're doing, and automate as much as possible so that they can be as productive and effective as possible. Those are the ones that can really help you to lift the boat, or lift the boat for those that are not the greatest achievers, but you can get them up to a level that they're really performing.
Right. I mean, those high performers don't have a lot of patience for slow systems or slow processes that don't work. Right. They're looking for that efficiency.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's exactly right.
I think the ability to work smarter, faster, and collaborate better are all critical for that efficiency, I think.
Yeah. How is data important in that, in your perspective?
Well, I think the fact that they have access to data that, and a lot of times, where people get frustrated is it takes either A, I can't find the data that I need, or B, it takes a long time to be able to put together the analysis so that you can then take that information and do something with it effectively, right? So I think it's providing that data and making the confidence that that data is accurate and consistent, and that everybody's working off the same sheet of music essentially as it relates to leveraging that data to serve internally as well as to solve clients' issues. So data is, I think, certainly a critical piece for that, for sure.
Yeah, and that unification of data is really important, and being able to connect all the points of data in an organization that are really important as you're working with your clients.
Absolutely. And I think as we're transitioning some of these, around, okay, we have great individuals, we have great subject matter expertise, we have all these personality traits. How do we ultimately help leveraging the cloud as an example to really enable those high performance? So really, I think that's a great transition point of like, what are things that are out there as we leverage technology that can essentially enable those high performers, right? And that's, again, not getting, take things that and remove those obstacles that get in their way from being able to service your clients. So one example, and I think it really drives around this big data concept, and how do we capture all the data? How do we transform it to make it meaningful? And then ultimately, how do we turn it into insights that then help our consultants or resources make better decisions for what they're doing as a process, but also how they're serving the client. So Microsoft is an example in their cloud platform with Azure. They're starting to leverage solutions and building solutions that take advantage of some of these services like machine learning and artificial intelligence. So Rob, if you've seen much around the customer service insights, it's that client data platform. Essentially, it's every activity that, whether it be phone calls or whether it be emails, whether it be chats, and bringing together all these activities, new projects, things that are purchased, and be able to give that 360 view of the client is a critical piece, I believe, for really helping them understand not only what they've done, but ultimately what can they do? How can we look proactively at these clients and these accounts and get a better view for how we can help service them better.
Yeah, Mark, you should probably flip to the next slide. We've kind of talked a lot about perspectives about unified data and what that really means, a 360-degree view and everything. But from the higher performance for individual contributors, that perspective for me is that it's all about the right tools. It's all about cloud-based collaboration tools like Teams that can enable teams to be much more effective and eliminate some of that time spent that going back and finding a document or sending emails out and searching for emails, and just a little bit of time savings can help go a long way. And I think the other thing for individual contributors is that they need their management really to have visibility to the schedules and the resource forecast, because no consultant wants to sit on the bench, and most ProServ staff are rewarded for their output. So the more that you can maximize their output, the better that they are going to be, and the more likely you are to retain them.
It's interesting you talk about the individuals too, and I think I talk about customer insights or service insights, but also and leveraging tools like Teams and Office 365 and SharePoint. Those are all great ways they can collaborate and work with content or provide content. There's even the capabilities. Microsoft has another service around My Analytics. And essentially, it'll provide to those individuals how they're leveraging those tools, Rob. So I think things like, how can I be more productive? Can I reduce the number of meetings that I'm having? How do I better communicate? Who am I communicating with in the organization? And it not only takes that data and pulls it right out of Office 365, but it actually then provides recommendations for how they could be more efficient. And I think that's the type of platforms and systems where it's all this data, all these cool technologies, but really it comes down to how do we make these folks even more of a high performer?
Yeah, that's right. And I think what's great is what Microsoft does in the cloud, and allows organizations to manage and connect all the real critical points in an organization. And yeah, this 360-degree view of clients with unified data is, it's really critical for the effectiveness of an employee. You have someone who has the ability that is connecting your email with the client, with your calendar and your schedule and your upcoming appointments, and very easy then to be able to collaborate. It makes it much more effective for an individual to work. So, the question comes up, is the Microsoft Cloud a better fit for service organizations? And absolutely yes. Microsoft is seeing phenomenal growth in the services economy, and they recognize that ProServ firms need a combination of collaborative tools and business applications that are designed for service and billable based firms. And the transition that they've made to build out Microsoft Teams has enabled collaboration and development of the unparalleled business application capabilities, in particular project operations, that's really focused squarely on the ProServ and project-oriented companies. And Microsoft in the cloud has pulled it all together, from marketing to sales to project management, resource management, scheduling, billing, and revenue recognition. And better together really includes everything that Microsoft has, and enables a ProServ firm to work much more effectively.
Yeah, I think things that certainly all professional firms or service firms are looking for is, how do I deliver on time, under budget, right, and delight the client through those pieces. So I think it definitely says, Rob, with all the platforms you talk about and productivity and just, again, reducing that admin burden for those professionals. But ultimately, also, I think people like leveraging, flexible work environments and be able to accomplish their work anywhere, right? That's really important, because sometimes those that are the most valuable resources don't necessarily work on the same time clocks that everyone, the 8:30 to 5:30 or 9 to 5 type approach. I think ultimately, as a firm, you're looking to drive, profitability. How do you drive profitability? Maximize utilization, and again, keep them more focused on the client engagements than entering timesheets or entering the expense reports. And I think, lastly, I think some of the platforms we talked about with the customer insights or service insights really just helps deepen client engagement, in my opinion. I think it provides that relationship, transparency, and intelligence. And really, certainly with the tools like you mentioned with Teams and SharePoint, providing content, managing those collaborations, but ultimately providing better insights and direction for those customers on where they could go, and really, working together as a partner for a long-term partnership. I think it's critical that you have the right solutions in place supported by the cloud.
Yeah, that's great. I've got just a few closing thoughts. I think the reality, Lance, is that the digital revolution is real, and we're seeing a lot of changes happen right in front of us. We've talked about clients and operations, and it's impacting also our workers. And the workers come to work every day expecting to have the same experience they have in their homes.
Right.
They want to have apps that work for them. They've got access to data at their fingertips, and when they come in the office, they want to be able to connect to everything and have it be quick and rapid and easy to use. And that's what we need to be, as leaders. We need to be delivering that experience for our employees.
Absolutely. And I think from my perspective on this area, I think it's really important that you engage those resources in your process, and where can we automate, where can we focus on efficiency and performance. So, we talk a lot about the process and the data and bringing that together with the people, but it requires really that collaboration, I think, with those stakeholders, and walking through your process together, looking for those opportunities to reduce burden. They know better than anyone where the problems are in your processes and how to engage with clients. So I think if we can get, really focus on that, look at those touch points, be willing to focus on continuous improvement, right? This is not a one-time, let's fix it, it's going to be perfect. You have to be willing to iterate and really continue to evolve that, especially as new services and processes come about. And don't forget really the impact that change brings. You're impacting even your high performers. Those are the ones you want to have the least amount of impact. Just make it easier to do their jobs every day.
Yeah, and we all know that, when we have high performers, that increases our revenue, it increases our profitability, it increases our client satisfaction.
Absolutely. And then you're getting everyone's buy-in for those efficiency and performance, and everyone benefits both within
Yep.
internally and externally for sure.
Yeah. Mark, you want to talk a little bit about Velosio?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks, Rob and Lance. And we hope you all enjoyed this session and you've gotten some good ideas in improving your operations and business and how to leverage the cloud to do that. If you haven't already, please watch and listen to the other 2 webinars on transforming the client experience and streamlining operations and projects. As you've heard in this session, our experts understand the professional services industry and project-based firms. We have earned recognition from Microsoft as a top 1% performing partner worldwide, and we have over 31 years of experience in business applications across Office, productivity, business intelligence, ERP, and CRM. With Velosio, you can focus on your business and rely on our proven expertise to get you to where you need to go. We look forward to the privilege of working with you and building a partnership into the future. Thank you.